Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this podcast. This is VFitter University. My name is Elijah, and we are here with Michelle. We're trying to focus on the practical knowledge in the world, and we're going to talk about specific products. Thanks for being here, Michelle. Introduce yourself, and we can go from there.
Perfect. Yes, thank you so much, Elijah. I'm happy to be here. Hey, everyone, I'm Michelle. I'm the co-founder at TypeDream. We're building an AI website builder. So we allow people to type one sentence prompt and we'll generate the website for you. And then you can edit it using our editor.
This is interesting. Okay, so I'm assuming once you generated that prompt and you have the website, then you could edit the website again, right? So it's not like you did it one time. Okay.
No, you can edit it again. Yeah, because sometimes great. You might want to change the copy, you might want to replace the image, or even change the layout a bit. Then you can use our editor to edit it. So we started out as a no-code website builder. We've been around since 2021. Our editor is like Notion, the note-taking app. So if you can use Google Docs or Microsoft Word, then you can definitely use TypeDream. There's no learning curve there. Oh, and now we're adding AI to the onboarding flow specifically. Instead of starting from a blank canvas or choosing a template, you can create a website that is unique to you because the AI will do it for you.
Interesting. So does it even allow like for the code editing and HTML, CSS, JavaScript, any of those?
Like to export it or?
Basically, for example, let's say I have like a piece of code that is like a button, let's say. Is it possible to import that styled button in there, or it's easier to just make it there, right?
It's easier to just make it there because you can simply type /button. We have slash commands just like when you use Notion or any other slash-based editors, but you can always import your HTML or CSS if you want by typing /embed and inserting the code block there.
This is interesting. Okay. So right now, let me just go back to education part. How do you guys educate your audience on how to use this sort of software?
So for other no-code website builders, they have, in order for their audience to use their website builders, there must be some learning curves, right? Other website builders usually create videos, tutorials on YouTube, teaching people how to do it. They even have a freelancer network if their own customers can't use it. But for TypeDream, as I mentioned before, our editor is very similar to Notion, the note-taking app. And if you can use Microsoft Word or Google Docs, you can use Notion. So we don't really need to educate our customers to use us because everyone can use Microsoft Word or Google Docs.
Such a great approach because we're the same thing with VFitter because we realize that if we make an app that is like easy to understand and like easy to play with, everybody can learn it very fast, right? So there's no need for all this documentation that would make this.
Yes.
And it actually it's bad for us because we have to do all the coding in the background and like make only the buttons visible that user needs. But yeah, it's awesome for the user. Great experience.
Yeah, exactly. Better to deliver the perfect user experience. And leave the heavy lifting on us.
That's interesting. So do you want to share with us if there's any websites that you've built right now using that, or even just the environment of TypeDream? So we can just show the audience how would it look like to start from the beginning?
Let me see if I can do this. Okay, yeah, I think I can share my screen. Yeah, good. Looks good?
Yes, perfect.
Cool. So this is the first screen. When you sign up to TypeDream, after you create an account, you'll see this. You will be able to enter your one-sentence prompt on this box, and the AI will generate a website for you. Oh,
Hmm.
but before that, you can choose whether or not you want your website to be in light mode or dark mode, because I saw this tweet from Andrew Gazdecki saying that dark mode is worth billions. So we thought we should add it to our onboarding flow.
It is.
And
I
then
totally
you
agree with
can
that.
pick a color theme. You can pick a color theme just to give your website more colors. You will see the sitemap, all the sections you will have on your website, hero section, client section, features, whatever. You can delete any section you don't want. You can rearrange this. And then you'll see a preview here. You can finalize the details like dark mode, light mode again, colors, sections. Yeah. And
That
then
is really
this will be the final result of your
cool.
website.
And then it's a couple of
And then you
pages,
can,
not just once.
yeah, you can tell the AI if you want more than one page, and it'll ask you the number of pages you want and what kind of pages you want. Home page, about page, pricing page, theme page.
And so this is the perfect thing for like every startup to get started and have their websites up and running in like less than 10 minutes, I
Yes,
guess.
exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Before that, they'll have to choose
Mhm.
a template. They'll try their best to customize the template, but it's really hard because not everyone knows how to design something. But
Yeah.
with AI, you can just tell the AI you want it to look techy, you want it in dark mode, you want it to, you want the buttons to glow, stuff like that.
Interesting. So, let's go back to our product now, because we're
Mhm.
actually like on the same mission. We want to make things very easier, very faster. What we focus on mainly is the education and how it's not really sufficient in the world because university as a single organization is really not great enough. They don't really know all the
Mhm.
information that, for example, your business knows. If TypeDream
Mhm.
wants to train their future workforce, they don't really, they can't really trust educated university students because they teach them
Yes.
programming. It's outdated, and you would still rather train them yourself. And that's the
Mhm.
same way with us. So we thought, okay, university, they just focus on the knowledge and not the wisdom. Wisdom is practiced
Yes.
knowledge. And university translates that like students' performance with grades and quizzes. This is not what businesses want. Businesses actually want a resume, and from that resume,
Mhm.
they focus on the experience. Like if the user doesn't have experience, no matter how good the grades are, they don't really care about it. So the whole
Yeah.
education part in the world, in our opinion, is lacking right now, and it's not
Uh-huh.
working, functioning correctly for the job economy. And job economy, and for example, job market is now
Mhm.
they have to retrain all these students, and
Mhm.
they're gonna forget everything they learned in the university. So what we
Mhm.
do here is we use AI to do simulations. I'm sure you've heard about
Uh-huh.
like chatbots, all these like automation, integration. We do simulation, and simulation
Mhm.
allows for making the knowledge practical. For example,
Mhm.
let's say in chemistry, if you want to mix two, three compounds, you really need a lab environment, and sometimes those compounds are very dangerous, and you can't really touch them,
Mhm.
you can't really breathe them. You should have masks on.
Yes.
But with AI, right now, we could just have a bot, like a simulator bot, that you would give variables, like all the different sorts of compounds, and it would mix those, and it would give like an awesome report on how this result turned out. And
Mhm.
the same thing goes with drug treatment. Like right now, thanks to AI, we could, for example, put a specific cell type, under influence of a drug, like treatment, for a
Mhm.
year in AI as like a
Mhm.
hypothetical scenario. So that
Yeah.
creativity part of it, that hallucination part of it works perfectly here. Of course, if you use AI as only knowledge base, it's gonna hallucinate. It's gonna come up with all these different sorts of like information that are not correct sometimes. But what we do
Yeah.
is that we actually specify parameters. We create these bots that have parameters in them, and they're connected to different APIs. They're connected to different internet sources, and based on those, it can do those simulations. And basically, we want to fix the education industry by offering these simulators to scientists, to people who are with research, but they want to validate this research, because this research by itself is
Mm.
only knowledge, right? But what happens when you
Yeah.
turn it into wisdom? Um, when it's
Mhm.
wisdom, it's now like practiced. Like 100 simulations we did, and it worked. It's most likely to work in
Mhm.
real life too. So we save costs, we
Yes.
save time, we do things more safely even. And
Mhm.
yeah. So what do you think about this whole concept, like giant?
Yeah, I love it. I am not familiar with using AI in the education space, of course, because I've only used AI in my product, so more in the tech or software as a service space. But
Hmm.
I can imagine that it would be a helpful product for hiring managers when they want to screen candidates, they can simply give them real world tasks, like a task that the candidate would do in that company versus giving them generic lead coding challenge.
Exactly. So one more question I have is that what do you think
Yeah,
the best large language model is, like in this world right now?
I've used ChatGPT, so GPT-4. I've used Bard. What else? Pi, Llama. But my favorite is still ChatGPT and GPT-4 at this time.
Interesting. Yeah, because it's like largest data set and has the best power of
Yeah.
reasoning.
Hmm.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, for example, when we did document processing and the document is like a legal insurance document, it's like
Hmm.
30 pages. ChatGPT was
Yeah.
unable to do that, while Cloud, it has like a
Yeah.
100K tokens, and it
Hmm.
was like awesome for those purposes. But yeah, like in our
Yes,
platform,
exactly.
we basically have all these simulations that
Hmm.
simulators that you could change um, the large language model like to whatever you think that is best for that purpose. Um, what do you
Mm.
guys
For a
use?
certain task. Yeah, that's amazing.
Mm, what do you guys use for your like website creation? Is that the same large language model GPT-4, or are they different things?
I have no idea because I'm not a technical co-founder. I can check with my technical co-founder and get back to you on that.
Sure. Next episode, we'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so one thing, our partnership is now like I'm just imagining it. So let's
Mm.
say if you guys are creating these websites, they're definitely being offered to businesses. And when there are businesses,
Yes.
they definitely have a knowledge base that they're practicing or trying and simulating. So would it be possible to have a simulator ready up and running for them with an API, and while when they make the platform and like offer for a different price? How do you see that happen?
Yeah, I think so. Hmm.
Right.
I think
I
that's
actually think
something that's possible to be done.
it's interesting. Yeah. Okay. So let me ask one good question, and like then we can wrap it up. So
Yeah.
what is your experience with AI personally, that your mind is like, like you're very interested in AI after this experience?
Yeah, I don't have any one specific experience, but I
Mm.
handle marketing. I also create content for TypeDream for my company, and
Mm.
I've always been doing it manually. I would think everything from scratch, right? So, and transform my idea into writing manually, and I would polish it manually as well. Now I can ask ChatGPT to generate 10 ideas for me. I would pick one and ask them to elaborate on the idea and actually make an entire essay from it, and even ask them to polish it. Like, I would tell them, write it in this tone, this language, make it short, make it in the tweet format. So yeah, it's been life-changing on my day-to-day life.
Interesting. So just to show you real quick, like I want to show you like how we do this parameter, just because you said we come up with 10 ideas. ChatGPT comes up with 10 ideas,
Yeah.
and these 10 ideas
Uh-huh.
are like I choose one of them. But usually what we do is that we give like a couple of good ideas and we tell the model that this is what we consider good or like excellent.
Mhm.
And then knowing that pattern, it would generate all these different like awesome ideas that are, not like a simple idea. It knows the
Yeah.
intelligence level of the ideas that we consider good. So it's called, I think it's
Mhm.
called patterning, but in our platform, we use it like examples. We give examples to the bot.
Mhm.
So let me just
Oh yeah,
show you.
that's interesting. That's also something I usually do. If it's not my first content,
Mm.
then I would give them, for your reference, I made these two content before and it worked really well. So reference from these two.
Interesting. So let me just quickly share
Okay.
the screen. Do you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this is the interface of our platform. As you can see, this simulator itself is a simulator creator that we use for different
Mhm.
stuff. If I bring you to the like source prompt, as you can see, we specify a goal. Like we say, okay, you're a fascinating AI simulator creator. You have a special structure which allows you to create da da da. And then we specify rules. Like this is rule number one, you have to be subject matter expert. And sometimes we even tell the AI that you're not good at specific things because we know that it's not good at.
Mm.
One thing with large language
Yeah.
models is that they don't know that they're not good at specific things. So if you actually
Mhm.
specify those, that would be perfect, and they would know not to go to that direction. And then once we're done with all the rules, we give examples. As I just said, we specify all these different examples, and for example, in this case, we have also variables. Like I'm like, okay, the simulator that you're
Mhm.
generating, what are the variables? Instead of like just the single prompt input, we have, for example, let's say here, we have size, we have distance, and we could have
Mhm.
up to 4 variables. Once everything else is set, um, as you can see, instead of prompt, it would have the size and distance and then simulate. One thing that you can also do in our simulators is that you could specify API calls. Like you could add up to 4 API calls, and each could be a different method. Like for example, one could get from Google Sheets, one could get from anything else, and like then merge the data and feed it to the large language model. This process is somehow really automated. So it's like once you put the API name and the method is get, um, you could just click on this little icon here and the information is being generated by AI. Um,
Mhm.
in some cases, you have to specify it very accurately. Like, okay, if it's Google Sheets, is it get document? Is it post document? So that's why we didn't get the endpoint right. Um, but yeah, it's pretty much like automated API connection, and you just have to replace
Mhm.
the key. So yeah, these are all the different tools, different accesses. You
Mhm.
can have your own page, like a business page. Really, like we have this library of more than 200 bots that they do different things. For example,
Yeah.
if I want to talk about this NASA one, it's really like a plan simulator, right? So it's like we give parameters, the
Mhm.
destination and the deadline and
Mhm.
a few other things, and then it generates a plan to travel to a Earth-like planet. Like here, as you can see, I was like, okay, the destination is a planet like Earth, and the deadline is 2056. So it gave me
Hmm.
all the timeline, mission profile, spacecraft design, destination, and how we could really do this mission, right? So as much as I
Yeah.
know, this mission is impossible. Like nobody would be
Hmm.
able to give 35 to 50 year of their life to go to a different planet. That would be very hypothetical. And that's only possible if we can reach to the speed of light, which is 5 to 20%. Sorry, to 5 to 20% of speed of light. That's how we could make this trip 35 to 50 years. And this all depends on the spacecraft, right? We don't even have that
Yeah.
spacecraft built yet. And in this mission is saying, okay, if we build this spacecraft, then we could go to a Earth-like planet. So that's why I'm like, okay, the whole SpaceX, the whole all these different missions that Elon Musk is doing, it's not practical to me. You know, it's like I can hardly convince a human being to go to the moon, right? Because they're like, why would I do that? How can you convince someone to give off like 50 years of their life to go to unknown, right? Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was just a cool thing for the podcast for the viewers. But it was very nice talking to you. I would definitely use TypeDream myself because I'm interested. It's
Thank you.
really like less than 10 minutes. Um, but yeah, if you have any final words for the audience, we'd be happy to hear.
Yeah, I would just like to comment on the demo that you just gave to me and to the audience. Aside from the fact that the simulator is cool, I really love your prompt template. I believe you should make it a template and share it on Twitter or something. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
it'll be very valuable to people.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm actually planning to do that, but it's like I have to charge for it, right? Like I can't just give it up for free.
Yeah. You can sell it as a digital product, and you can use TypeDream for that.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. You guys have a CMS system? Perfect.
We have a payment system for you to sell digital products as well.
Intern. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. It was lovely meeting you. Um, See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye everyone.
Thank you. Bye.